Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? 1 Corinthians 15:54b through 55. The Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. And just as God raised Christ Jesus from the dead, he will give life to your mortal bodies by this same Spirit living within you. Romans 8:11.
Hey guys, I hope y'all are all staying healthy. So, as you all know, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be celebrating Easter. For many of us, Easter has always had certain traditions. Now, this year may be a little different, but one tradition that always shows up, the Easter Bunny. And I don't know about you, but I've always found the Easter Bunny to be slightly terrifying. Doesn't the idea of a huge bunny seem like a strange tradition for a holiday, or is it just me? And Christy will show you some photos of some scary bunnies. So thank goodness for all the social distancing, because that means we don't have to dress up and sit with this giant scary bunny. But even if it's not the Easter Bunny, there have always been those things that give us a reason to be fearful. When we were little kids, it could have been a monster in the closet or under the bed, being in the dark, or even getting hurt and having to miss out on fun. Then as you get older, your fears have transferred to other things like failing classes, being rejected by friends, doing something embarrassing and getting it posted on social media, or not making a sports team. And now if you're in high school, maybe you don't call it fear, maybe you call it stress or feeling anxious or being worried. But no matter what you call it, you probably fear something. We all do. Maybe for you, it's fear of not fitting in, keeping the right GPA, or getting into the college of your choice. Fear of the future, not amounting to anything, or not having any real significance in life. Fear about your health or the health of the people you love, especially when there are diseases like COVID-19, keeping us all confined to our house. Fear can take away our happiness almost faster than anything. If we were to boil it down, there's one fear that connects all of our fears, the fear of death. That is not just about physical death, it is about the end of something. Whether it's physical death or the death of something we hope for, the fear of death comes down to losing something we think we'll never get back. When you think of it that way, it's easy to connect almost all our fears back to the fear of death. That's because death seems so final. But that's exactly where Easter comes in, right in the middle of our fear of death. For those of us that follow Jesus, this is the time of year we celebrate how he came to earth, died on the cross as a criminal, and then 3 days later, when nobody expected it, he rose from the dead. It especially changed the life of a guy named Paul, one of the most famous Christians in history. Before he became a Jesus follower, he spent years trying to scare Christians into leaving the faith, using death as the ultimate threat. Then he met Jesus and it changed everything. Paul's life was constantly in danger. In fact, he was eventually killed for his faith. Despite all of that, Paul seemed to live without a fear of death. And in one of Paul's letters, we can see why. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? When Jesus died and then rose again, he defeated death, and that means that because of the resurrection, death can no longer defeat us. We no longer have to fear any kind of death because Jesus destroyed death once and for all. Easter means that fear isn't final. If Jesus can defeat death, he can defeat all of the things that you're afraid of. Fear will try to control you and make you think you don't have any options, but fear is only powerful if it can convince you that it's final. When Jesus defeated death itself, he showed us that nothing we fear is bigger than him. Even if fear doesn't get the final word, that doesn't mean there aren't still things to be afraid of, but it does mean that you're more equipped to handle those things than you may realize. Paul says it this way: the Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. Romans 8:11. Paul is saying that the same power that defeated death 2,000 years ago when Jesus rose from the dead is actually inside of people who believe in Jesus today. So let me ask you, where has fear been holding you back, and what steps should you take to prove that fear doesn't have power over you?